Hey Glamfam, welcome to today's video. I have some new beauty here. I have the brand new YSL All Hours Precise Angled Concealer. We're gonna see how this wears. I do have a 5-day wear test on this. And then I also have the new brushes with the Nikki BK Beauty collaboration. I'm so excited to test all of this out in today's video. If you're new here, I'm Kristi. I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get glowing. Glamfam, before we jump into the concealer, I have the new Nikki x BK Beauty brushes. So these brushes just released and I'm so excited, you guys. These are incredible. So if you're not familiar, Nikki is a professional makeup artist who has her own YouTube channel now. I found her on Mixed Makeup, and then when she started her own YouTube channel, I was really excited because I am such a fan of her work. She's incredibly talented and she really gives some good tips. So definitely go check out her YouTube channel. Well, she designed these brushes for BK Beauty with like a pro artistry mind, and let me tell you guys, these are really unique to the BK Beauty collection. These are not brushes you already have from the collection, which is nice. I love the new aesthetic with the piano black. It's really, really beautiful. So we have how many brushes? 6 brushes in this collection. So let's start off with that first one. This is the N17, and this is kind of a multitasker. This one you can use with foundation like I did in today's video, which you will see. And then you can also use it for blush, which I ended up doing, and you can even use it for highlighter. It's truly a multitasker. It is really, really good. I really love what she did with this brush. She kind of took her artistry mind of old school foundation brushes and kind of modernized it, is what Lisa J said on her video. So I really, really like that. It's a good brush. And then the next brush I want to touch on is the N16, and this is just for your standard concealer, very precise. We are going to use this in this video, so you will see me utilize this in just a second, but I do want to show you guys what that looks like up close. It is very tapered and it kind of feathers out at the tip, which kind of diffuses out the product, which is really, really nice. Very different from the BK Beauty Angie brush in a sense, where the BK Beauty Angie one, this is the A506, is a little bit more dense. So if you like more of a full coverage dense, like you really want that product in there, I would still continue utilizing that one, but this one is really nice, and you will see this one applied really beautiful, and it still left that pigment in there. But I also loved it for my eyeshadow base. That was really nice, and you can really get into like the details like right here too, so if you need some powder there. But really beautiful brushes. And then the next brush we'll go through is the N14, and this is like a tapered multitasker. Again, it has like that same shape as even this one does, what we're going to go over in just a second. It has more, these have more rounded tips, where these are more tapered, right? So I love that. But this is really good for like getting in for like a nice strong contour. Again, I will demo these later on, but I just kind of want to go through the brushes really quick. But you can use this for a multiple amount of things. Nikki uses this to put her concealer on, so that's another way she utilizes the brush. And then you can also set down your powder with this. A lot of different ways you can utilize that brush. And then the next one is the N15, and this is more of like a bronzer brush. Love this one, but again, you can use this for powder. Remember, there's no rules to makeup. You can use it however you want. I did a little bit of contouring with this today, and I like this synthetic fibers. They're really, really soft, and it has kind of, this is not my bronzer. This is the color tone of this. You have the light, and then you have the darker tip area, which is really nice. And then next one is the N13, and this is just your standard crease brush, transition shades, however you want to utilize this. I utilized this brush on the last video, so I kind of already talked to you guys about these brushes, but I'm going into more detail in this video. But this is really nice. You guys saw me use it in the new Surat Souffle eyeshadow, the eyeshadow look I currently have on right now. I utilized this brush, and it is really, really nice. So definitely go check out that video. And then I also utilized the N12, and I really love this one for really kind of carving out the brows right here, or just highlighting the brow bone area. You can use it for the inner corner. You can use this to smudge out your eyeliner, however you want to use it. You can even use it for nose contour. There are a multiple amount of ways to use that brush. And then the last brush is the N11, and this is your standard eyeliner type brush, wing liner, however you guys want to do it. It does have a thicker head than the BK Beauty. This is the 208 that you guys know I utilize all the time. Obviously that is very precise and very thin. You guys know I love that brush. This one is a little bit thicker, so you will see the differences there, and it has a little bit thicker of a head. You can use this for brows, you can use it for liner, lower lash line, however you want to use it. If you want a really strong contour, I don't know if I'd recommend that. It's not soft enough, it's too dense, but really great brushes. And I can use a little extra blush. Let's put on a little bit more. I used my Surratt blush. Let me show you guys. This is actually a really good one to just kind of set down. I think I enjoyed that more than I did for the foundation, and I'm using the standard BK Beauty side, not the black side. And I really like that. You can use the other side as well, but I used the other side for highlighter, and that was really pretty as well. So amazing brushes. These are not included in the Black Friday sale, which had already started, but it ends tomorrow, the 27th. I think tomorrow's the 27th by the time I release this video. But just keep in mind the Black Friday sale does not include the Niki LaRose set, but it does include everything else on their website, and that ends again tomorrow, the 27th. So just so you guys know, I love that the Angie Hot and Flashy travel set is part of that deal. So that is a really good set as well for traveling, and I love that bag. I talked about it in a previous video, but I'll show you guys right there. So don't forget, if you want to shop any of the BK Beauty brushes, you have till tomorrow to do that. You can always use my code Kristi10 at checkout, and I do have an affiliate link with BK Beauty. All right, let's jump into it. So again, this is the brand new YSL All Hours Precise Angles Concealer, and this does retail for $38 US. You get about 0.5 ounces and 15 mils of product. So we're looking at about $2.53 per mil. That is fantastic for a designer brand like YSL. So I'm really excited. That is a lot of product you're getting there. It reminds me a lot of the Too Faced Born This Way. You got about almost like half the size of a foundation, which is unreal for concealers. As you guys can see, very similar sizing. The Born This Way is a little bit more hefty, I could say. I don't know how to explain that, but it just has a little bit more base to it, where this one's a little bit lighter weight, which I personally like, because when you travel, it's just nicer to have something a little bit more compact. But I will say right now, I like the doe foot applicator a lot better on the Born This Way. You actually get the product out and it gets distributed. This one I have a really hard time with. I know they designed this to have that precision tip, because it's supposed to be an all-over concealer to really create contour lines, to use as a foundation, use as a concealer. You can use it however you want, which is a lot like the Born This Way multi-purpose. But I just think that this one has a wee bit more coverage, or actually a lot more coverage. And I just don't particularly like this doe foot applicator. I find myself scraping and getting frustrated. The outer component packaging of this concealer is so incredibly beautiful, on point with YSL. You get that piano black with that gold YSL logo raised. Oh, it's like a little hardware on top of it, like wrapping around the cap, and it is just absolutely stunning. I don't know if you guys know this, but L'Oreal actually acquired YSL in 2008, so the actual designer brand of YSL is separate now, the actual clothing line and purses and all of that, and the actual makeup and cosmetics is owned by L'Oreal. So I do feel like it changed a little in my personal opinion, but it's still incredible products. It's just not products I particularly reach for, but this one really intrigued me. And this does not have a fragrance that I can smell, so just so you guys know that. And I've been using this for the last 5 days, as I already mentioned, and I don't see any like breakouts or anything like that. Nothing affected my skin in any sort of way. This is, again, a very unique, precise, angled applicator to really spot, conceal, sculpt, and seamlessly enhance your features with a natural soft matte finish for up to 24-hour wear and hydration. Now, the box describes this as a luminous matte face and eye concealer. This lightweight cloud skin-like formula is packed with skincare actives to make your skin look smoother, softer, and firmer after 14 days. That's their claims. The highlighted ingredients are caffeine extracts, which are known for its visibly anti-fatigue properties, jasmine petals, which are known for its anti-dullness and soothing properties. Now let's take a look at the full ingredient list. I was just personally happy that there was no coconut oil in this. Water is the first ingredient, then you have dimethicone up there, isododecane. You also see the caffeine, coffee, seed oils, you see the jasmine flower extract, but nothing in there that I saw that would negatively impact my skin. So if this was a concealer that I was like, oh my gosh, this is giving me the coverage and everything I'm looking for, this would actually be a very ideal concealer. And again, I just love this packaging. You guys know my love for black and gold, obviously. So let's test this out on camera. This is not a first impression video. I'll show you guys the swatch again for LW1, again described as light warm undertones 1. So this is just, for me, again, personally, just a little too warm, and I wish it was just a little bit more neutral or yellow for my taste, just for my taste. But I do think it's a good shade. So this is in studio what that precision tip applicator looks like. You can see where it's distributed at the top right there, but you get very little amount, and that's what I was saying. It's just kind of frustrating, and you guys will see as I apply this. So right now I do currently have my foundation on. I have my Surratt foundation wand because we are going to be doing an eyeshadow tutorial after I jump off this video. I'm going to film this next with Surratt. So I do have the foundation wand on in shade 4, but I did add in a little bit of my Maybelline just because that was a little too dark for me right now. And I just love the combination of those two. And I do have my Dermatology eye patches on. One thing I found with the eye patches that I personally love to do now is I like to keep them in the refrigerator. And then when I go to use them, they're so cooling and give you such a perfect sensation. I absolutely love doing that. So the official Black Friday sales have already started, and it started on the 16th and it will end on the 26th. You do need to use my affiliate link for that, but you don't need to use my code, just the affiliate link. And I think my code will automatically be at the discount. And then Cyber Monday deals will start on the 27th. And again, you will need to use my affiliate link, and all of that is in the description box. And that sale will end on December 1st. You guys know my love for dermatology. It's just amazing. And I do have my #1 primer on, you guys. This is the ultimate primer. If you're new to my channel, I only use dermatology skincare. It's just the absolute best. So I will put my over 40 skincare playlist right there. If you are new here, I am 45 years old, so I do have mature skin. I have fine lines, wrinkles. I have very sensitive acne prone skin. I have hyperpigmentation that is actually faded quite a bit from using all my dermatology products plus my calcium, and I do talk about all of that in that video, so definitely check that out. But I wanted to give you guys an indication of my skin type and preferences. My favorite, just to kind of measure this up, most of you already know this, but if you are new here, Hourglass Vanish is my ultimate holy grail concealer. It's just the best of the best of the best. So it's really hard for me to find one to beat this. So I'll let you guys know at the end of that. But I am gonna do more of a comparison to the Born This Way just because I find a lot of unique similarities there, but there is differences. So we'll go over that at the end again because I have already used this, as I already mentioned. All right, so I'm gonna start off here. And I do find that this is a very long wearing concealer. So it's actually distributing a little bit better now. I think it's the, I don't know what it is, but the doe foot applicator feels, now see, we're back to, see where that gaps right there, that bothers me. So it, to me, it's just like, come on, this is an expensive concealer and up front. No, it's not per mil, but up front. See how I have to keep going over that little gap area right there. So that's quite, the first one went on pretty nicely. But anyway, that's where we are. Okay, so I'm gonna do a sponge on this side right here, and then I'll do the brush on that side. It's very pretty, very skin-like. It just blends to perfection. All right, we are gonna use the new BK Beauty, and I did use the foundation one already, but we are gonna try the actual concealer brush, and this is the N16. I'll show you what that looks like, and it has like a precision tip. I better get on this before this dries down too much, and I'll go over that in just a second. But we're gonna try this out. I haven't tried these brushes out yet, so I just got the package in the mail. But this is a nice little gift set for Christmas. That looks so good. That blends out nicely. I like that brush. So this is different compared to the Angie one, the collaboration with Angie, but they're both really, really good. I would say this one has a little bit more density. This one is a little bit more feather lightweight, but I love them both. I mean, you cannot go wrong with either one. Yeah, this one's just a little bit more dense. This is typically the one I like, but this one's just as good. And it can get into those little crevice areas too, like right here, because I haven't set down my makeup yet. So if I have any creasing, it's a nice way to kind of get that creasing out so you can see my fine lines and stuff like that. That's awesome, but that's where we are. That's where we are, people. All right, I'm gonna take my sponge and we're just gonna kind of go over that. I'm not gonna use more than that. I don't think you need more than that. If you want any more correction, I would just use a color corrector. I did use a little bit on this side, just so you guys know. I did a little bit of my Surratt. You guys know this is just the only color corrector I will use if you're new here. This is just the best color corrector around. So I'm gonna do a little bit more through here of the color corrector instead of going in with more concealer, just so it doesn't crease. And I think that's the best way to do it. And this sucker doesn't crease. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the light and the peach one, both colors. And then I'm gonna go in there and I am just going to start pressing that in. See how that just helped where I didn't have to use more concealer, and it's so seamless. And then I put a little bit on my fine lines right here. A little bit on my crows. I don't have any excess product. I'm just going in there with that. My One Size powder. Y'all know the drill. My Makeup Forever HD Skin Puff. I know several of you have purchased this and it's changed everything for you. So I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you so much for sharing that. I know a lot of you now have purchased this and you're like, okay, Kristi, where has this been all of my life? And I'm telling you guys, it's the best. It's so underrated. I can't believe nobody else loves this as much as I do. Now, everybody has a different method to setting down their foundation, concealer. Some people don't use any powder and they're okay with that. I personally, it doesn't cake up on me. The powders I use, the method I do, the puffs I use, it never cakes up on me. So just so you guys know that. So it's not like you're like, well, that's too much powder. I think the problem with makeup is a lot of people get this misconception that there's so many rules to makeup. There's no rules in makeup. You do what's best for your skin type and never let anyone tell you differently. If someone tells you don't use powder, if you go to a makeup counter and they're like, you're 50 or you're 45, you shouldn't use powder, don't ignore those people. Ignore outside noise. Just pay attention to your own skin type because nobody knows your skin better than you, and we all have different skin types. So what works for me may not work for you, vice versa. And I always say that with my reviews as well, because I just don't want you guys to ever think that I'm like, you need to do this, this is why you need to do it. No, this is just what works for me. And I think that's the most important thing. Even when reviewing products, you know, whether I like a product, I rate a product good or not, it doesn't matter. Like, it matters what it's working for you. Some people love a product that I rate really low or I don't particularly like for myself. Vice versa, I may love a product and you're like, gosh, that really didn't work out for me. And that's fine, that's okay. We're all different. We all have different preferences too. So just do what makes you feel beautiful. And I promise you, you're gonna feel the most beautiful when you do that. When you try to follow everybody else's rules is when you get yourself in trouble. All right, so speaking of powders, again, this is my method. It works for me. My concealer lasts all day when I do it correctly. And I do have a lot of positive things about this concealer for that. And then this is the Chantecaille Petal. This is an amazing powder. I just did a short on this. I just talked about this. And I usually use it with my Chikuhodo brush. And you guys know this is just my holy grail combination right here. But I do want to try this brush from the Niki LaRose and BK Beauty because it is a dual fiber brush where you have the standard BK Beauty side that I already put foundation on with. And then you can turn it around and you actually have your black fibers. Very soft, very different for BK Beauty. So a very different fiber than I've seen from that line. And I think with this one, we're just gonna kind of flatly lay that down. We're gonna press that down. So it doesn't give me that same softness. So it skips a little, which means that it can kind of move around foundation if it's not set down first. So that's just something, I already have it set down with a puff, so it's not doing that. For me personally, this is just a lot. See how that just glides? And for mature skin, especially over 45, we really don't want, that's so sensitive and thin right there. We really want to keep that nice and supple, and you want something where it's just gonna feather lightweight. Do you see how that barely distributed powder, but just gave me that perfect blur right there? And I think that's just really important to remember. I just personally, let's do that on this side. Yeah, I just personally like that better. I think this is a brush I'll use for like contour and blushes and stuff like that. I think it's gonna be excellent for that. So we'll try that with like cream blushes and stuff like that. But it is a really nice brush, don't get me wrong, but I just prefer this type for my under eye area. Let's try out this brush for like some contouring. So we're gonna take my Surratt bronzer contour wherever she is. She's around here. All right, we're gonna take it into, I just got some new ones because I was already like running out of it, but this is just my collection right here, the perfect collection. So I'm gonna take my Surratt Griselle powder onto this brand new brush, which I get so excited for new brushes. And we are just going to kind of just slightly contour. Ooh, I like that. Nice, very, very nice brush. So usually I use my rougher number 4, or I'll use my BK Beauty. This is the 112 from the Core collection. I like the 112 just because it really gets into those precision contouring, or you guys see where you get that precision contouring. So I do like that for that reason, but this is a really nice one to kind of like blend out too. So really nice, just depends on your preference. I'm gonna go in with the BK Beauty over here. See, like you get that line, but the only thing is, if you're not careful, you're gonna have a demarcation line. You guys know for quick contouring though, this is just my go-to brush. This is my rougher number 4. Again, this is Japanese. A lot of people don't like synthetic. This is a natural hair brush, but this is like quick, right? So I can get that precision and the blending at the same time. I'm gonna go back in with the Niki LaRose. But I do like that for blending. That is quite nice. If you don't want a precision contour, you just want something really soft, that is super nice for that. And you like more synthetic brushes, it is a really nice way to do that. And you can even set down your powders with this too. These are all multitasking brushes. Let's try this one for a highlighter. We're gonna do my Surratt, and this is the Artisque powder in Ariel. Let's try that right here. So this is nice for like precision highlighting, where if you really want to get that, I mean, this is not a beaming highlighter, this is more of a glow from within highlighter, but that would be really pretty. Or you can even take, again, that side of the brush. Ooh, I like that. Okay, that's where I like this brush. I like it for highlighting. And remember, you find the way you like it, but really beautiful. I love that. Love it, love it, love it. All right, I am gonna jump off camera. I'm gonna show you guys what this looks like all set down up close in natural daylight as well. And then I'm gonna go film another video, and I will come back at the end of the day and give you guys my final thoughts. So I will see you guys in a little bit. All right, you guys, so I'm doing a midday check-in. Sorry, I don't have any lipstick on. I just ate something, but I wanted to let you guys know how it's wearing. So far, it's looking good. I mean, I have worn this before, so I kind of know how it wears. One great thing about this concealer is it wears really, really well. So I really like it. I just want you guys to be able to see, again, what it looks like in natural daylight on more of an overcast day. But I will end this video with my 5-day wear test. So I will see you guys in a little bit. All right, you guys, so we're at the end of the day. We're back in studio. We are going to end this video with my 5-day wear test, so stay tuned for all of that. But I just want to go over my ratings and just give you my final thoughts on this concealer. I think it wears beautifully. It really does. It is one of the best wearing concealers on the market. I can tell you that right now. And I have to say, every time I wore this concealer, it just wore really nice. I even wore it to the gym the other day and it wore so beautifully. So I have to give it to them on that. So as far as application goes, I think this applied beautifully. I really like the way it applied with the Niki brush, and it also applied really nice with this sponge. It is more of, it's not as full coverage as like the Hourglass, and definitely not as full coverage as the Too Faced. So if you like a little bit more coverage, this may not be your concealer. I like the texture, I like that it's creamy, and I like that no matter what applicator I used, it really applied beautifully. So 5 out of 5. As far as finish and wear goes, like I said, this wears unbelievably good. And let me tell you, I really do think it is a perfect description of that luminous soft matte finish, kind of reminding me of the Huda Beauty one, but not as much coverage. So that's where this one falls down just a wee bit for me, just because I personally like a little bit more coverage, but that's just all preference. But this Too Faced one, very similar, very, very, very similar, but this one wears not as great because it is more full coverage, so keep that in mind. Where this one is not as full coverage, but it wears beautifully. I don't think it's as good as my Hourglass one. I love that this one I can wear all day long and it has just that immediate full coverage. I don't need a color corrector with it. That's what I like about that. But I do like this for natural days, so I really appreciate that. So I'm gonna give Finish and Wear a 5 out of 5. As far as shade range goes, this is kind of where it lacked a little bit for me. I didn't think 18 shades was enough for a brand like L'Oreal to release only 18 shades, in my opinion. I didn't like the undertone of this one, so I think I would enjoy this concealer even more if it was a little bit lighter and just a more yellow undertone for me personally. This was just a little too much orange base. So I'm gonna give shade range a 3 out of 5 just because I think they lacked there. As for ingredients, I really enjoyed the ingredients on this concealer. I think that whatever they put in there is really nice, and I like that there's no fragrance that I can personally smell, so it doesn't state that it's fragrance free, but I don't smell anything, and I like that. I wore it, I spot concealed with it the other day, and I had no issues with breakouts. So 5 out of 5 for ingredients. As for packaging, oh my gosh, the packaging is absolutely stunning on this concealer. I just don't like that doe foot applicator. I feel like this is where the score fell down the most for me, just because I do think that they had a good idea with the precision tip applicator, but it didn't apply consistent, and I just found it very difficult to get in there. Although you're getting twice the amount of concealer you would normally get in a concealer, you are still paying $38 up front. $2.53 per mil is not bad, but if I can't get the product out, then I'm wasting a lot of product, if that makes any sense. So I prefer this doe foot applicator much more. It's a little bit wider and it's just easy to get out, where this one I'm just like sitting there scraping to get the product out. So twice the size, I still feel like I'm gonna probably go through that more than I will the Hourglass one. So I'll put the size comparisons right there and the price per mil. I think this one's gonna be a little bit more though. But you, again, this is your luxury, this is luxury brand too, so we pay for that. But as far as the packaging goes, I just feel like that's where it lacked. I mean, I love the outer component, but I wanna be able to get the product out and have it not be frustrating to apply. So I'm gonna give packaging a 3 out of 5. we're looking at a total glam score of 21 out of 25. Not a bad score. Is it my favorite concealer ever made? I think you guys know it's not. Hourglass is definitely still my #1. But is it a good concealer and something if you had your interest in, definitely try it out. You never know. I always say take my reviews with a grain of salt. I picked this up myself. I bought it during the Sephora sale. I was just intrigued by it and I really wanted to try it. I haven't used a YSL brand in so long, or I don't think ever on my channel. I don't know if I've ever did anything YSL, so I love the brand in itself, like the designer brand, but I just haven't really tried anything since L'Oreal purchased them. But it is a good concealer, so don't get me wrong, it's just not something that I foresee myself reaching for a lot just because of the doe foot applicator. Change that applicator and I probably would have scored that a little bit higher. So is this something that you guys were interested in? Let me know. I love to hear from you guys. Congratulations to Lisa J and Nikki LaRose on such a fabulous collaboration. As always, Lisa J just puts out such quality products and I really love what she's done with her brand. She's amazing and I love what she donates to the kindness campaign and everything her brand stands for. And when you utilize my affiliate links, it really does help support my channel. If you're new here, before you go, please remember to hit that subscribe button and click the post notification bell. Join our beautiful glam fam. We're here every week and we just love for you to become part of our family. If you liked this video, please give it a huge thumbs up. Be sure to check out last week's video and please comment below and say hello. I love hearing from you guys. You can follow me on all of my socials at KristiAllure and I will see you guys on the next video. Love you guys. Bye. Hey Glam fam, so I wanted to do a check-in outdoors to let you guys see what the color looks like outside. I think it's a beautiful concealer. It's just nothing to write home about. I still love my Hourglass way more, and I do feel like I have to kind of mix in my Sephora Bright Future like I did today on this outdoor wear test, and it just gave me a little bit more hydration and a little bit more brightness, and I don't want to have to do that. I think it's a pretty concealer. It's not creasing or anything. It's just not anything that I think I would pick up again or repurchase again. So I just wanted to give you guys my outdoor perspective. This is about 6 hours and the sun is going to go down here soon. So I just wanted to get this outdoor footage before it went down, and thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys on the next video. Love you guys. Bye.
Never up, never down, never like a theme in a song, clever, feeling high, feeling low at the same time. Feels so right, then I'm wrong, hoping I'll be fine. But I get up, I hope